Hello. I have a dog who's kind of whiny. Sorry. I am here today instead of Laura, and I did not miss it, so I'm very proud of myself. And I'm here to talk about common cloth diapering mistakes and how to not make them. And maybe you will learn before you do them. Like some of them I totally am guilty of. So I'm just going to let you all have a chance to show up if you are planning on coming. I see Laura is watching me. I'm very nervous. Just kidding. So I guess there's a few different, big mistakes. Like we all make little mistakes and, you get over it and figure it out. But one of my, I get a lot of comments and questions and emails from people asking where to start with cloth diapers. And I think a really big mistake that some people make, and I always try to help them avoid, is buying all of the same diaper before you have a baby. I'm a big advocate for waiting till you have a baby or close to having a baby, because one, cloth diaper components do break down over time. So if you're buying diapers years in advance, your elastics might not last as long. They might go slack before you get a chance to use them. So I definitely recommend to be closer to needing them to use them, especially because our warranty lasts for a year. So you definitely want to take advantage of that on something that can be avoided in terms of elastics breaking, going slack type things. And then once you have a baby and you're ready to start cloth diapering, you might find that you hate pockets and you love all-in-ones, or you hate all-in-ones and you love pre-folds and covers. And so it's great to try smaller stashes to start with and say, I like this diaper and I don't like this diaper right now, because you might always change your mind as your baby's size changes, absorbency needs, all sorts of things play into that. And so I definitely recommend to try using a few different types, see what you like, see what fits best on your baby, and also you might change your mind midway too. There's plenty of you that have said that you loved pockets, but then you changed to all-in-ones, and so it's definitely something that changes. And so I always recommend to try multiple types before you invest in a full stash of one thing. And babies have different absorbency levels. You need a more absorbent diaper for nighttime than you do for a daytime. Yeah, Lacey says she's changed setup 3 times with 3 kids. Yeah, it totally happens. Some babies do well with one style. Your next baby might do better with another. So give yourself some flexibility, because you probably will want it, to be honest. So that's my biggest starting cloth diapering, is to try lots of things. And Janella, yes, you're correct. There are some retailers that offer trial programs. I have a list of them. If you're interested, if anyone's interested, I have a list. And if you are a retailer who offers trial programs, feel free to email me, because I do keep a list of you, and I'll send them out to anybody that asks about trial packages. Sorry, I'm just checking the comments here. Let's see. Okay. Amy Jo says biggest is not buying quality, and that's true too. I personally have only ever really used Thirsties diapers because I'm very lucky. But it's true. You can spend some money on something that might not last over time, and then you have to buy it again and again, which is definitely why we try to be committed to a quality diaper and not something that you're going to have to replace all the time. Buying lots of things because you have to have that print is totally different than having to replace it because it didn't hold up. So another one of my cloth diaper mistakes that might not apply to people that cloth diaper from the very beginning, because I think this is a lot easier if you start at the beginning. But personally, I started cloth diapering my son, I went to disposables, and then I went back to cloth diapering. And it took me a very long time to figure out when to change, because with disposables you can sort of forget that you need to change so often, and you wait until the diaper is really saturated or soiled and then you change it, whereas with cloth diapers you want to change frequently because you can, because you're going to reuse that diaper and you don't need to worry about your baby not having used the diaper to its full potential. So changing often is something that I definitely had to get used to, and I had lots of extra outfit changes to make sure that my diapers were not saturated before I'd remember to change them. So that's one thing I struggled with switching from disposables to cloth diaper, was how frequently you needed to change. But in the long term, it's better to not have your baby sitting in a soiled diaper. You want them to get out of that diaper and into a clean one, and then change that one when it's dirty too. That's one of the reasons why cloth diapers is good in terms of rashes, is you don't have babies sitting in waste. And you get to reuse them. You don't have to worry about throwing it away. And along with that too, I struggled a lot with absorbency, and I get questions occasionally about using like the duo wraps with the hemp inserts, and you definitely can do it. I mean, it might not be the most absorbent diaper that you have. If you're in a pinch or a bind and you need to use something, those two can be paired together, but having proper absorbency is awesome in terms of not getting leaks and not having to change whole outfits. Let's see, daycares need to change every 2 hours. Yes, Danny. If your daycare checks every 2 hours, that is what we recommend in terms of a cloth diaper, is every 2 hours. Some babies might pee more than that, and they might need to be changed more often. So in that case, if you have to get to the 2 hour mark in order for daycare to change it, then I would put in a booster if you're needing it more frequently than that. But yes, 2 hours is like our max amount of time. If you're able to go 3 hours, that's fine, but most babies need to be changed around the 2 hour mark. So yes. Oh, sorry. And then, so absorbency, not adding enough absorbency, especially at nighttime too. You do see a lot of talk about cloth diapering and nighttime, because it is maybe the trickier part of cloth diapering, because you want to get a diaper system in place that gives you the absorbency for the longer stretches of sleep without having to worry about leaking and changing. So finding a system that works well for you, with lots of people use fitted diapers for nighttime. That was one of my personal favorites, was a fitted diaper and a wool cover or a diaper cover over top with a hemp insert or two. There's also the natural pocket is a good option, and because you can stuff it with extra inserts, or you can put in a hemp pre-fold. Those are great options for nighttime, as well as the natural all-in-one with an extra booster, either cotton or the hemp insert. And just, I know that lots of cloth diapers for nighttime look really bulky, but in most cases, I have not come across any issues with baby's comfort or development from having from having a well-stuffed cloth diaper on nighttime. So you definitely want to have enough absorbency for nighttime or daytime naps as well, making sure that you don't have the wicking out the top if the insert's up too high. Also with babies that sleep on their tummies, I get a lot of questions about the hook and loop flap on the inside of the duo wraps and the pockets. And we do recommend that if you are using those diapers and you're putting in the inserts, that you don't want the insert to be tucked under the flap in there. That's actually to protect the stitching on the front of the pocket or the duo wrap from coming into contact with the wet insert. And so you want to make sure that's laid on top of the flap so that you don't have wicking through the stitching. Ashley said that you change every 4 hours. It's not bad if your baby doesn't have any problems like rash wise and you don't have to, then you can. That works. That's just our recommendation because a lot of people do have leaking around the 2 hour mark when their diapers are oversaturated and then they have leaking, and so our recommendation for that is changing when the diaper is full. Laura has a helpful video for nighttime diapers, which you should totally check out because nighttime diapering is kind of intimidating, and a lot of people don't like to do it, which is fine if that works for you. But definitely finding a system that works if you want to be able to cloth diaper at night is a nice way to not have to use disposables when you can get away with it. Let's see. I had, so when my daughter was a baby, I had her in the duo size. So we had the duo pockets, the duo all-in-one, and then the duo wraps. And she was about 5 months, 15 pounds, and she was still in the size 1. And I really needed to size her up to size 2. When I went to size her up to the size 2, I realized that I had sort of given her like a waist trainer with the diaper, and there were some little like indentations in her skin that I could have avoided had I changed her into the size 2 a little bit earlier. So I would recommend to go up in sizing when it's time. So the best way to tell when it's time is usually you'll have leaking. Your baby will be oversaturating the diaper too quickly. The other way to look at it in terms of fit is to when the rise is open all the way on a newborn or a size 1 diaper, or on a 1 size when you have it snapped down, when the rise comes to be more than an inch below the belly button, then you want to move up to the next size. You want the top of the diaper to sit right below the belly button, right at the belly button. If they're smaller, newborn, you can go above the belly button in terms of getting it fit, but typically you want the rise of the diaper, the top of the diaper, to be right next to the belly button. And when it starts pulling and sagging a lot down towards below an inch below the belly button, then you want to move up in size. As babies get older and are more mobile, the diaper definitely can sag below the belly button. So as long as you're not having leaking, that doesn't mean you have to go to like a size 3. It typically, once you hit size 2, most babies outgrow the size or are ready for training pants or diaper underwear before you need to use the size 3. But the size 3 also works great for overnight diapers too. If you have a really stuffed diaper and a baby on the larger end of the size spectrum, that can help too. Danny, yeah, you also went too far as well. I can completely sympathize. I felt a little bad about that, but I lived and learned. I don't want to talk too much about care and use because there's a lot in terms of care and use and cloth diaper mistakes. Some like common cloth diaper care and use questions that I get would be, ammonia stink, like why do I have the smell in my diapers? And so you want to look at things like proper detergent amount, agitation time, and that is a really important thing too. As much as like the water level and the detergent amount, you want your diapers to agitate a good amount of time too. This is sort of going away as more people move towards HE top loaders instead of HE front loaders, and then standard top loaders with the agitator. But the standard agitators typically have a really short agitation time, and so you can have a perfect like water situation, detergent amount, and if your diapers are agitating for like 10 minutes, then they're just not going to get clean enough. And so that can be really important for cleaning the diapers. You want to make sure they agitate well for long enough in the detergent with the water. And thank you, Laura. Some care and use questions. We definitely have gone over things like stripping diapers. And so, if you have any specific care and use questions, I generally recommend you to email us at support@Thirsties Baby. And we can definitely go over some things that you might be able to try that can help in terms of your specific situation, because it is so dependent on your machine and your water and your detergent. Let's see. Amy says, I was using products that hurt my diapers when washing. Yeah. That is there are definitely things out there that you can do that can hurt your diapers. Sanitize cycles, bleach soaking, stripping too often. Those things can all wear out the components faster. So if you're having trouble with stink issues or buildup or ammonia, we can always go over those things if you need to. And I think that might be all I have. Oh, well, a big one washing wise would be check for water hardness. You want to know if you have hard or soft water, and once you know that, then figuring out your routine can be a lot easier instead of playing trial and error with one specific thing. Hard or soft water, definitely finding out what you have can help in terms of figuring out your best routine. So if you don't have any other questions for me, I will head over to Instagram. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will take a look later. And if you have any care and use questions, please feel free to email me at support@Thirsties Baby. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.